What is up, guys, and welcome back to season 1, episode 12 of the Spades podcast. You guys already know who it is, but for those who don't know my name or who I am still, I'm Daniel. Akinbinu.
Daniel Akinbinu. Daniel Akinbinu.
Once again, I want to say thank you so much for coming back to another episode of the Spades podcast. And without further ado, we're going to jump right into today's session. Now, before we begin, I want to take this time to introduce my guest for the day. Why don't you take the time to introduce yourself, talk a little bit about yourself, and even shout out all your social media platforms.
Hi everybody, my name is Devon and I play soccer, I make music. For that I have my YouTube channel somewhere here.
Yeah.
I have my Instagram, my 2 Instagrams right here, and yeah.
Once again, I want to say thank you, Devon, for taking the time out of your day to come to my podcast. And without further ado, we're going to jump right into today's session. Now, like I said in my previous podcast, guys, we're starting a new segment on the podcast called The Hot Take of the Week.
Daniel Akinbinu.
Nigerians are the prime Africans. Now, before I take this opportunity to kind of express my love for this hot take, Devon, do you agree with this hot take? Like, what are your thoughts on this hot take?
Well, define prime. What do you mean by
Prime, as in when someone mentions Africa, what is the first country you think of?
Congo.
And let's be very honest with ourselves. When you think of Africa, probably one of the first few countries you think about is Nigeria. And on top of that, all of it's like a good and bad thing. I know people are gonna think of like listen to this podcast and like Nigeria is not always good. What about all the cheaters? What about all those Yoruba demons and everything? Like no, we get that. But there are a lot of good things that come with Nigeria. Now, I've actually taken the time to create a list of the great things yes, of course. The reasons why Nigerians are indeed, in fact, the prime Africans. But before I take my time and go through this list, is there anything you want to say with that hot take?
I mean, before you start, first, I'm Congolese.
Okay.
And you gotta know, I gotta glaze my country for some of it. First of all, we got the food. The food over there, I'll tell you.
Days.
I know y'all have what's it called? Egusi.
Yeah.
The rest, but you're no match to us. You guys are known for what's it called, jollof.
I'll
give you that. I'll give you that.
Jollof rice. Okay.
I'll give you that. You guys have jollof.
Pounded yam. You have to give that to us as well.
Okay, now push it. We have something called kwanga.
Okay.
I remember you have a friend Congolese. I think he knows what kwanga is.
Jerome.
Yeah.
Jerome. Okay.
We have kwanga. We have fumbwa. We put that two together. And you have a little bit of something there.
My days. Yeah. All right, okay. I agree with that. I see where you're coming from. Let me take the time to go through my list. Let me see. We are called the giants of Africa for a reason. It's almost like everywhere you go in Canada, literally anywhere in the world, the majority of the black population there are, in my opinion, are Nigerians. That's my reason for why they call us the giants of Africa. Our music is on top. And the most streamed artists, 14 out of 20 of them are Nigerian.
Yeah, I'll give that to you as well.
You see?
Yeah,
our music is just, I don't know, music is just like that, bro.
Have you ever been to a Congolese concert?
No.
You have to, because
I have to go.
Probably Jerome will tell you about this. Congolese music is the best.
Whoever told you to never date a Nigerian man is hindering you from enjoying life. I don't know. I think I just kind of sat down and like questioned it. I'm like, wait, all these people that they're saying Nigerians are cheaters and this and that. I really don't understand why people think Nigerians are cheaters. They're always emphasizing it directly to the Nigerians. What about the other countries? What about the other cultures? They're coming out to the Nigerians. What about the Congolese?
Trust me, I've heard from certain people that they've told me do not trust Congolese. I was like, bro.
And you know what? Let's even. Oh, sorry. What did you want to say?
I think certain individuals like don't put the stereotype of like one person is bad and then you assume the whole population is bad as well. So.
Exactly. You're right. Like I don't know. I just don't like how people be moving like that nowadays. It's crazy. The main difference between Nigerians and the rest of Africa is that we're very loud, and that's something I don't like too much about the country itself. That's very true. Especially when I was a kid, and now that I'm really thinking about it, I never really liked the fact that people would say that to me. when I'm trying to explain something or I'm just talking in general, they can tell me to be quiet or like lower my voice, like I'm being too loud. And then I'd give them a look like I'm just trying to, give you
Mm-hmm.
my own ideas. I'm trying to tell you something. It has nothing to do with me being too loud. That's just, I think it's just where we come from. That's just the type of culture that we've developed.
Yeah.
Because again, it's always very loud in Nigeria. It's always very loud. Something is going on in Nigeria, like so it's always loud. So when we're trying to talk to like individuals, we're always trying to get our point across. It's not
Yeah.
because we're loud or we're trying to be or mean or trying to be loud. It's just that's just how society is.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like I said, now that I think about it, every time people complaining, "Oh, I was too loud as a child," and this and that, I wasn't being too loud. That's just where I came from. That was a notion that I was brought up to understand, and it is what it
Yeah.
is, right? Have you ever felt like that before
I won't lie. I was the loudest kid in the house because
in the
like
house or like?
in the house because like I have three siblings.
Mhm.
I'm the second, and I'm telling out of all them, I'm the loud. I was the loudest. My parents always used to like they used to strap me in like a chair or something.
Strap you is crazy.
Exactly. I like to demonstrate it. I was the kid that when the power goes off, I check the window to make sure that even the neighbors don't have power. I think I'm tamed now. Now I'm more peaceful with
Mhm.
people, but I used to be loud.
I think it all comes with just being mature. And again, you grew up in Windsor. It's a very different demographic than Congo,
Mhm.
or for me, than Nigeria. That would definitely play like a big factor in how you mature in your life.
Yep.
The reason why Nigerians are the prime Africans is because the vibes are always there. Whenever you meet a Nigerian, whether they're good, whether they're bad, you always know that the vibes is always going to be there. It is what it is.
Each country has their own way of vibing with people, but so far the Nigerians friend I have, they're all like you can hang with them and there's always some kind of vibe with them. So yep.
I want to say thank you again for joining me on that segment for the podcast. We're going to move on to our next segment, which is the questions segment.
Daniel, I can be no.
As you guys already know, you guys send us questions. We take them, write them on a piece of paper, fold them up, put them in a hat, and draw out the questions that we feel are best for each session. Now, have my guest Devon pick out all the questions, or not all, pick out 3 questions for us to answer on the podcast for today. And you're right here. Sorry. I forgot I was trying to think of where I put them. They're all in this hat, and we're going to draw them out randomly one by one. And with that being said, guys, we're going to jump right into it. So, how about you pick out the first question for us?
All right, no look. Okay, first question. What do you think about guys who switch up after they get rejected? Me personally, I think I've ever experienced that. When you get rejected, you're like, I don't want to talk to anybody. It's like you always say the famous line, "I'll never date again." That's the famous line by everybody, and then like you're like,
I know I've said that before.
Exactly.
The last person I talked to after they decided to leave, I was like, no, I'm never dating again. I'm this
Yeah.
whole university for the next 4 years. I'm gonna be by myself for the rest of my life.
I've actually said that myself. I was like,
I feel like it's a little bit childish,
Mhm.
and not childish in the sense of like you switch up and you become like a good person, not a good person, but you become a better version of yourself, doing all these great things for yourself and just evolving as a person. But like childish in the sense of you want to get back at that person and you want to make it known that you can do way better without them. And
Yeah.
that's obviously not the kind of the route that you should be taking. You should obviously take that humble route where it's like, yeah, sure, this person rejected me. It is what it is. But I'm gonna do everything in my power to show myself that I can do way better not way better than them, but way better without them, and proving that to yourself. I guess it all comes down to again who the type of person is that it is that you're dealing with. The way I deal with rejection a lot is by writing down what I think I did wrong in that situation. Whether it's like we're being rejected from a job or like from a person, a girl, like a friend, like it doesn't really matter what type of rejection. But I kind of just take the time to sit down or write down the things that I think I did wrong leading up to that rejection, throughout, the situation, the circumstance, and how I can even improve as a person to make myself better for the next opportunity that I can get.
Yeah. Because like for me, the way I thought about, I was like, after like I switched up for like 2 weeks or something, I thought about like my friends. I'm like, they were there before she was there, so like, you might as well stick with the ones who are willing to stay with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I
I
was like,
understand.
then I thought about, I was like, I first apologized to my friends. I said, I'm sorry for switching up, but like, you got to think about it in a way, but that you got to appreciate the ones who are willing to stay with you since day one. So like,
I've had a lot of people tell me that after I get myself involved with someone, it seems like I'm ignoring them or I'm like kind of leaving my friends behind. Have you ever felt that way before?
well, definitely, yeah.
Sorry.
Because there's a time whereby when I was dating somebody, I was constantly on my phone talking to them, and then one day my mom hit me with a reality check. She was like, you're never with us upstairs. You're always on your phone downstairs. And I was like, oh yeah, maybe I am. And
Mm-hmm.
then the day that we broke up, that's when I realized that, oh, maybe I was on my phone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because like, I know your mom have probably said this to you. It's so easy. Why are you sick? It's because of your phone. They always blame your phone. And I was like, at
Your
that,
phone is always the excuse.
exactly. And then now that's when I realized maybe it was because of the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, yeah, because I think it's all about like managing your time. Like, cause like there are also some girls who are too clingy. Like they always want to stay with you constantly and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's about like before you start dating, like set boundaries. Like you have your time, I have my time. At some point, you were two individuals.
I completely understand. I don't even think that it's even like a purposeful thing. Like you spending all that time with that person, it's not on purpose. It just comes naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you were attracted to that person, whether it's emotionally, like your hobbies, physically, whatever it is. There was something that brought you to want to be with that person. And obviously, with that comes with all the time you want to spend with them, the attention that you want to give them. That's just a normal thing. But like you said, at some point you just gotta like sit yourself down and again, instead of your mom giving you that reality check, give yourself that reality check and be like, damn, like I really am not spending all that time, any time really, with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to figure out how to balance my relationship with the rest of my life. You know, my mom has always told me this. Why am I worrying about relationships now when the likelihood of it being
Mm-hmm.
like a success is not 100%. And every time I think about it, I'm like, what does my mom know? Like, does what exactly does she know that I don't know? Honestly, the reality of it is that she doesn't. It's not that she doesn't want me to experience these experiences, but just understand that not everything lasts for a long time. Having that reality at the back of your mind, it gives you that sense of peace, especially when it comes to that time where they break up with you or you get rejected. You'll then have that feeling of like it's not a big deal. It is what it is. Like it's not the end of the world. Now that I've really given it a lot of thought, it gives me a better understanding of how to live my life in this world. And really, it's to live my life for myself and not for anyone else. So that was a good question. Let's move on to our
All right.
next question.
What are some unspoken rules men should follow when it comes to women? You want me to go first?
Yeah, go first. If you have anything to go first.
So listen,
Mm-hmm.
like trust me, majority of men, they never listen to what women have to say. Sometimes they may know more than you know. Men always want to assert like the dominance over them, like the master of the house. But yeah, yes, you are. But at some time you gotta like calm down,
Mm-hmm.
listen
Mm-hmm.
to what they like. Listening is the biggest problem for
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
some men.
That's actually a really big problem. I can't lie. Because when you don't listen, how are you supposed to understand the message that the girl is trying to get to you? All this, all the time they always complain, oh, women are whining, women are this or that. Did you even hear what she was trying to say to you in the beginning? All the time that she was patient with you, that she was trying to get her point across, you're doing something else, you're busy with something else. And I get that. You're very busy, you're trying to do everything that you can to, support her and support yourself. But take that time to listen to her and hear everything she wants to say. Let's say you're having a really big issue and you're just trying to get your point across and trying to talk to
Mhm.
someone about the issue. But they're always trying to bombard you with advice, trying to give you their own perspective and this and that, which I understand, you're just trying to be a good person, a good friend. But that's not what the individual needs right now. I feel
Mhm.
like what most people need in this world is just someone to just sit down and like sit down to shut up and just listen
Listen,
to
yeah.
what you have to say. So I agree. I think that's actually a really good one. I don't think if I was to think of anyone right now, it would outdo that unspoken rule.
I'm good at listening, but I'm not good at responding.
Responding. Why? Why
Yeah.
did you why didn't you think that?
Okay, example. This is a real life example actually, because like there's this one time a friend of mine sent me a 1 minute voice message.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, 50 seconds of that was pure nonsense. 10 seconds of that was the actual message. If she's watching, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. But I have to say, do you know what I responded with?
What did you say?
Okay, and thumbs up.
Wait, okay. I don't want to say like what is it that they said because I don't want to like kind of expose to. They
Oh, I
probably
don't
even
remember.
know
I
what
don't
they are.
remember.
You don't even remember what it was.
Yeah, but listen and be good at responding,
Okay,
basically.
be attentive, basically. If a guy is out with his girl, don't be too friendly with her. Like there are just some people that are just genuinely friendly. They're just genuinely friendly people. When they have conversations with other people, it's not because they like them or they have any interest in being like intimate with them. It's just because that's just their personality. Like they're just naturally friendly. Like that's just who they are, right? Okay, here's the question. How do you feel with guys who are like that, who are naturally friendly, like they're the reason not the reason why they're friendly with your girl is not because they have any intentions of wanting to be with them, but it's because or whatever the hobby is or whatever like similarities that they have, it's just like just how that's how he is.
I won't lie. I'm that kind of friend. I'm like very friendly with people. It's like I vibe easily with them. But like a friend of mine is like that so friendly to my girl. I'll be like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Like I'll look from a distance. I'll be like,
So basically, like they should have their own boundaries.
yeah, like know when and where to be friendly with that person. And yeah, keep your distance basically. Because like I have a friend who he's never brought his girl to like a hangout that we plan.
Okay.
In a way, I feel like it's his way of keeping her away from us. He doesn't like trust us with her basically.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he keeps her at the distance from us. But I'm like, what's your with it? We're like,
it is what it is. We understand because literally anything can happen. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I hear where you're coming from. So good. We're gonna move on to our last question. Last question of the podcast.
What do you think is the most misunderstood thing about being a youth today? The most misunderstood thing about the youth, they always think we have time. Like, no, we don't. We're always busy. Wanting to target parents, mostly moms. Listen to me. Like, if there are dirty dishes in the kitchen, when like I know I'm supposed to do it. I'm not supposed to go do the dishes, but if you tell me to do it, I don't want to do it anymore. Like I'm feeling generous. Let me do it. And then
I see those TikToks. You're like, oh, they're washing the dishes.
Exactly.
And then your parents are like, they see you washing the dishes and they go up to you while you're washing the dishes and they look at you. Don't forget to do the dishes. What was I doing in the first place? Another misunderstood thing about being a youth is that we don't work hard. When they see us on their phone or we're lying down or we're just chilling, specifically African parents, when they see us sitting down on your phones, they're like, "Oh, you're too lazy. Look at your mates. They're getting the PhDs, masters, this and that. They're getting awards everywhere, and look at you sitting down on your phone being lazy." You don't know what I just went through for the last 6 hours of my life. I was grinding on that assignment, bro. I'm doing all this, I'm doing all that, and now I'm gonna give myself a chance to relax. But you're coming up trying to compare me to all these other kids. Have your parents ever done that to you?
Oh, they stopped recently, but they used to. Like, it's usually at least sometimes when I'm usually on my phone, they always assume that I have done nothing that day, and the time that I'm actually doing something, they don't see it.
I don't know if it's like if God is like intentionally putting them in that situation where I'm doing absolutely nothing, just for them to see and say, "Look at you, your mates, you're all running around looking for jobs, looking for this, looking for that, but you're sitting down there on your phone, and you wonder why you're always having headaches. You wonder why you're always sick. You always want to eat this, you that." So we've concluded our question segment for today's podcast. And now I'm moving on to our guest segment. In this segment, I have my guests talk about literally anything and everything that they want to talk about, whether it's stuff on social media that they've seen, or even go back to a previous question that we talked about, or just literally anything that's been going on in their lives. The floor is yours, Devon. Is there anything you want to talk about?
The Sidemen charity game.
Oh yeah,
Did you watch that?
I saw that, man. I saw my actually. What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was actual Speed getting his first goal.
Yeah,
it wasn't the greatest, but at least he put something behind the net. So
it was honestly that was absolutely amazing. His imitation of Ronaldo's
the whole stage went to.
Oh my days! I think My favorite part of like that whole charity match was when I Show Speed assisted Kai Cenat
Oh, that was
to
actually
score the
that was
goal.
good
That
one.
was
That was
actually
good.
and every time I think about it, I'm like, why isn't this blowing up? That assist was unreal. The guy just passing the ball and Kai Cenat scored the goal. I replay that play in my head over and over again, and I'm like, whoa, what the heck just happened? Let me aspire to be a player for that charity match. Come 2032. 2032, I'm gonna be a player at the YouTube. Is it no the Sidemen charity? Is it called the Sidemen charity soccer match? Yeah, honestly, I would love to be a part of something like that. I'll probably be playing for the YouTubers, the YouTube team. Anyways, I just want to say thank you once again, Devon, for coming to my podcast for today. I really appreciate it. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today's episode. And Devon, before you leave, once again, why don't you shout out your social media platforms for everyone
Once
to check you
again,
out?
Devon YouTube channel right here, and my two Instagrams are right here.
Thanks
yeah.
so much, Devon. Thank you. Thanks so much. Once again, if you guys are ever interested in being a part of my podcast, you guys can send me a DM on my Instagram, which is the_18, or my podcast Instagram, which I think is the_speeds podcast. Or you guys can comment down below on this episode on YouTube. Comment down below for Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, literally anywhere my podcast is available. Just shoot me out a message, and we'll definitely make something work. Thank you guys once again for staying till the end of today's podcast, and I'll see you guys in my next episode. Peace.
Daniel, I can be loose.